The hidden journey to the I Am in Spirited Away. Welcome, fellow seekers of deeper wisdom. Today, we're exploring how Hayao Miyazaki's masterpiece, Spirited Away, contains a profound spiritual roadmap for discovering your true divine identity, the I Am presence within you. The soul's amnesia, forgetting who we are. Chihiro's journey begins with her family taking a wrong turn, symbolizing humanity's deviation from our divine path. Her reluctance to leave her old life behind reflects our own resistance to spiritual transformation. When her parents transform into pigs after mindlessly consuming spirit food, we witness the first great warning. Excessive materialism and unconscious consumption lead to spiritual degradation. As Jesus cautions in Luke 12:15, "Watch out! Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." Chihiro's body begins to fade, a powerful metaphor for the soul's crisis when disconnected from its true identity. This mirrors Moses' encounter with the burning bush, where God reveals himself as, "I am who I am," Exodus 3:14. When we forget our connection to this divine presence, we begin to disappear spiritually. The tunnel, threshold to the unconscious. The mysterious tunnel entrance represents what Carl Jung called the descent into the unconscious, the necessary journey inward to reclaim our true selves. This dark passage echoes Jesus' words that the kingdom of heaven is within you, Luke 17:21. As Chihiro crosses the river stones, we see another powerful symbol. The river once flowed here, but is now dry except at night. This represents how our connection to divine consciousness often feels strongest in moments of darkness and silence, when the noise of the material world subsides. The name theft, identity crisis of the soul. The most profound spiritual moment comes when Yubaba steals Chihiro's name, renaming her Sen. This represents the ego identity that obscures our true divine nature. In spiritual traditions across the world, knowing your true name is equivalent to knowing your essence. When Haku warns Chihiro, "Don't forget your name," he's delivering the central spiritual message of the film. Remembering your true identity is the key to liberation. This mirrors the biblical significance of names. When God changes Abram to Abraham or Jacob to Israel, it represents spiritual transformation and covenant. Characters as spiritual archetypes. Miyazaki populates his spirit world with characters representing different aspects of consciousness. Haku embodies the higher self or divine guide, like the angel that appeared to Gideon, Judges 6:12, recognizing his true nature before he did. Haku knows Chihiro's true name and helps her remember herself. His dual nature, both dragon and human, represents the bridge between divine and human consciousness. Yubaba represents the devouring aspect of worldly attachment, the clutching, grasping nature that binds us to material identification. Her hoarding of wealth and power mirrors the biblical warnings about serving mammon instead of God. Like the Witch of Endor in 1 Samuel 28:7, she deals in manipulation of spiritual energies for control. No Face offers perhaps the most powerful spiritual lesson in the film. Initially empty and without identity, he absorbs the qualities of those around him, consuming workers and taking on their traits. This brilliantly depicts how, without connection to our I Am presence, we become vulnerable to external influences and unchecked desires. His transformation under Chihiro's influence demonstrates how connection with our true self leads to healing. Zenoba, Yubaba's twin sister, represents wisdom, compassion, and forgiveness, qualities of the awakened consciousness. Like the wise woman of Proverbs 31, she offers guidance not through control, but through love. Her identical appearance to Yubaba shows that the same energy can manifest as either grasping or giving, depending on spiritual orientation. Kamaji and Lin represent aspects of service and assistance on the spiritual path. Their kindness toward Chihiro echoes the Good Samaritan parable, Luke 10:30-37, showing how unexpected helpers appear when we're on our true path. As Jesus taught, "I was a stranger and you invited me in," Matthew 25:35. The bathhouse, material world's distractions. The elaborate bathhouse itself represents the material world with all its busyness, hierarchy, and transactional relationships. Like Babel's tower, it reaches upward with human striving while missing the true spiritual dimension. Each spirit that visits seeks cleansing, a powerful metaphor for the soul's need for purification. The river. God's transformation from a stink spirit to his true form after Chihiro helps remove the bicycle, human waste, within him represents how our divine nature becomes obscured by worldly pollution. This directly reflects the biblical principle that it's not what goes into a person that defiles them, but what comes out, Mark 7:15, showing that spiritual purification comes through consciousness transformation rather than external rituals. The train journey, surrender and release. The haunting train ride across the flooded landscape represents the soul's journey through the waters of consciousness after surrender has occurred. The transparent passengers remind us of those who have not yet awakened to their true identity, moving through life without clear purpose or self-knowledge. This scene visually depicts Jesus' teaching that many are called but few are chosen, Matthew 22:14, not because selection is limited, but because awakening requires conscious choice and remembrance. The tests of spiritual discernment. Throughout her journey, Chihiro faces tests requiring spiritual discernment. She must identify her parents among identical pigs, representing the ability to recognize essence beyond form. She must distinguish between the identical Yubaba and Zenaba, discerning between controlling and compassionate spiritual influences. She must remember her real name despite having it taken, maintaining connection to her true identity despite external definitions. These tests mirror the biblical counsel to test the spirits to see whether they are from God, 1 John 4:1, and Jesus' warning to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves, Matthew 10:16. The return, transformed yet unchanged. When Chihiro finally returns to the human world with her parents, they have no memory of their transformation. Yet, Chihiro is forever changed. Her hair tie made by her friends glimmers with spiritual light, showing that the connection to her true self remains. This reflects the spiritual truth that awakening to our I Am presence transforms us while leaving us more authentically ourselves than ever before. As Jesus taught, we must lose our life to find it, Matthew 10:39. Ancient wisdom traditions unified. What makes Spirited Away so spiritually profound is how it seamlessly integrates wisdom from multiple traditions. The Shinto reverence for spirits in all things reminds us to see the divine in everything. The Buddhist understanding of impermanence and non-attachment helps us release what isn't true. The Taoist principle of flow and balance teaches us to work with life's currents rather than against them. The biblical wisdom about remembering our divine covenant and true identity. All these converge on the same essential truth. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and remembering our true divine nature, the I Am within, is our most important task. Practical spiritual wisdom for your journey. Spirited Away offers practical wisdom for our own spiritual journeys. Guard against unconscious consumption. Be mindful of what you eat physically, mentally, and spiritually. Remember your true name. Regularly connect with your divine identity beyond roles and labels. Help others without expectation. Chihiro's selfless service becomes her path to freedom. Discern between controlling and compassionate influences in your spiritual life. Release what no longer serves you, like No-Face vomiting his consumed identities. Find your way back to simplicity. The humble country home of Zenaba represents spiritual truth without pretension. Your own journey to the I Am. As we conclude this exploration, I invite you to consider where you are in your own journey of remembering your divine identity. Are you still consuming unconsciously like Chihiro's parents? Are you working in the bathhouse of materialism, having forgotten your name? Are you beginning to help others like Chihiro, discovering your true self through service? Or are you on the train, moving toward deeper wisdom and compassion? Remember that the I Am presence within you is your birthright and true identity. As Jesus proclaimed, "Before Abraham was, I am," John 8:58. speaking not just of his divine nature, but of the eternal consciousness in which we all participate. If you found new insights through this exploration of Spirited Away, please like this video, subscribe for more spiritual cinema insights, and share with others who might be seeking their own true name. Visit figalisticrestoration.com for more writings that bridge ancient wisdom with modern expression through the lens of popular culture. Which character in Spirited Away do you most identify with on your spiritual journey? Share in the comments below.